Hello everyone. Today we're going to get an extra long special cooking video because today I am making a Christmas dinner for my university friends. It won't be as quiet as some of the other videos because my husband's going to come home about halfway through, I'm guessing. But I'll try to show you as much as I can before he does. So first things first, I'm going to show you this first recipe, which I'm taking from the Red Wall cookbook. I find this cookbook can be good, but only in certain situations, and I have specific recipes that I use from this book. I don't use all of them, but this one I use shrimp and hot root soup. So you can see the ingredients here. I'll show you the ingredients over there as well. See? Got about the same stuff. So this is the first recipe I'm using. And this will be the first thing I'm making because soup usually tastes better if it sits for a while. Another recipe that I'll be using, I'll leave in the link in the description. It's for Greek salad. I'll be making that last. And if you'll give me just a second, I will show you the other stuff that I'm going to be making, because some of it I just have to heat up. I don't really have to prepare it. So give me a second. I will get all that stuff out and show you the rest of what this Christmas dinner will be. So these are the other items that I'm going to be using. Give you an overview. So the first is this Vermont style half ham. I wanted originally to get a turkey, but the turkeys were all sold out when I got to the store, so my favorite is ham, and ham is still considered a traditional dinner. So this one is Vermont style. See if I can get close enough. Maple flavor, fully cooked, 100% maple wood smoked. So I like maple smoked ham, and so I'm very excited to make this. This is turnip. My mother prepared the turnip for me. Originally I was going to make everything myself and just spend the whole day cooking, but my family decided that they wanted to do stuff for it, so this is the turnip that Mom made. She makes a pretty mean turnip, so I think it'll be quite good. These are my mother's famous carrots. They are something else, let me tell you. She makes them with, I think it's basil, as you like, butter, and she chops them using a mandolin, so they're extremely finely chopped, which makes them delicious. For some reason, the texture just enhances everything. So my mother's carrots are amazing. I specifically requested these because I can't do them the way she does. And I never really specified, but this dinner is for people who aren't going to get to go home for Christmas this year. So it's like a post-exam, pre-Christmas, North American Christmas dinner for some friends of mine that are from really far away. So I specifically requested Mom's carrots. This is, do not be deceived, it's not an apple pie. It's a pumpkin pie, I think, that my father-in-law made. And he makes really good pies. So this will be a delicious dessert with some vanilla ice cream that we have in the freezer. And these are my mother-in-law's cranberries. Now, I'm not one for cranberries, but it's very traditional, so she wanted to make sure that everyone got the chance to have them. So now let's continue making the soup that I showed you earlier. Alright, so while I waited, I've washed and peeled all the vegetables I need for the soup. So now I'm just chopping them up for you guys. Now the battery on this camera is getting kind of low, So this video may stop halfway through, and I'm not 100% sure where the charger is. So I may come halfway through with some stuff already done if the camera dies on me, but hopefully that will not be the case. I'm not too worried about chopping these up beautifully. This is for company, but it's in a soup, so I don't know, for me that I don't really worry about my potato chunks in soup. I just like them relatively small, but chunky enough that you get a nice bite, get some in a spoonful. Now last time I made this, I had way too much potato, so I'm still using 3 potatoes, but the recipe calls for medium, and I'm using smaller ones, just because I had way too much potato last time, because I find potato and leek have a similar consistency. So since there's a lot of leek in this recipe, there's 2 full leeks, I like to cut down on the potato and go with smaller leeks as well, because the recipe also has other stuff like shrimp in it, so you're not going to just have broth, that's for sure. You'll always get something in every spoonful. And my husband loves this soup. Granted, I don't cook as much as he does, but I usually cook for special occasions. So basically I get to do the fun stuff and he gets to do the everyday cooking, which is totally not fair, but that's how it is. And this is his favorite soup of mine that I make. So here's my potato. Just trying to get a bowl out. Put that in there for now. Wonderful. Chop up my leek. Now these, I find you don't have to chop up really. They're pretty good. Oop, there, one's trying to escape. They're pretty good if they're just these little rings. I find they get kind of soft when you cook them, and so they're actually quite good just like this. I don't need to chop them up anymore. They're just like almost like how seaweed is in miso soup when they're cooked. Okay. There's one leaky type thing. Oh, my eyes are starting to water. You can tell these bad boys are part of the onion family. And the best part is I get to chop an onion in a second, so I will look like I just watched, I don't know, The Notebook or something. Okay. Now some people, when they chop onions, don't have the same effect. So I know when my husband chops onions, he doesn't cry, or his eyes don't water. But when I do, oh, it stings really badly. And actually, usually what I do, and I can't find them today, otherwise, trust me, I'd be doing it again, is usually I wear goggles. Oh, my eyes hurt. Oh, but if you wear goggles, then I lost a piece. Then the part of the onion that makes you cry never makes it to your eyes. Alright. Okay, while I'm still in misery, let's get this over with. Chop off the ends. Now, I know there's a really simple way to do this, but I can't remember for the life of me how to do it. I think it's something like what you do with a mango. Oh, and as you can tell, I'm not very good at it. I think you kind of make like a checker pattern. And then you just sort of pop it out. But I don't know if that functioned at all. Let's try. Oh, my eyes. My eyes are burning. Whew. If you've ever had dreams of seeing Elelwyn cry, whew, this is it. Oh, I wish I was one of those people who wasn't affected by onions right now. Whew. I can't even look at what I'm doing. Sorry, guys. Oh, man. Okay. Let's just get this over with. If anyone knows what it is exactly that happens when chopping onions, please leave it in the comments, because despite my pain and irritation right now, I am curious what the deal is. Well, my mango technique semi-worked. Oh, I think it might have worked better if I wasn't blinded by these onions. But again, onions get really soft when you cook them, so I'm not worried about cutting them all up beautifully. They just kind of end up being like seaweed in miso soup, just like the leeks. But I do love onions, eating them, not chopping them. So I wouldn't neglect them. Oh my goodness, guys. Whew. I will have to pause this video after I finish this, just to give my eyes a break. Oh man, I hope you guys are enjoying this at least. My goodness, I wish I could find those goggles. Oh, alright, that's good enough for me. Oh, I missed this part. Yeah, here's my roughly chopped onion. So I'm going to pause the video and we'll see what happens next. There, so I've got the leeks and the onions all chopped up, and the recipe calls for me to cook them in advance with butter for about 5-10 minutes. So I'm just going to stir these for a bit. You guys can see this. So the ham I showed you earlier will go in a bit, and the other stuff I'll just heat up at the very end before the guests come. But the soup takes the most prep, and like I said, the soup tastes best if it's sitting You'll be happy to know my eyes aren't stinging as much anymore. And the reason I have two hands is because husband is very nice and is filming for me since he came home. So as you can see, it's a very, very oniony soup. I haven't even added broth yet. This is just 1 onion and 2 leeks. That's all this is right now. And some butter that I'm cooking at half heat. So I think you've seen enough of this, so we'll stop for now, and when you come back I will have added some broth. Alright, so now we've been cooking our leeks and onions for a while now, so I have to add vegetable broth. So I'm going to do that right now. I've got 1.5 cups. Add 1 cup right here. One cup and a half. Hopefully there's enough left in here. Just barely. So I've got 1.5 cups vegetable broth. Now with this recipe, last time I made it, we needed to add water because, as you can see, there's absolutely no broth to this. So I'm going to add my potatoes. Now potatoes, as you know, are supposed to boil. So without enough water, these will not boil. So that is a flaw in the recipe. So what I'm going to do is add some water to these. Just stir it up a bit so that my potatoes are separated and all clumped together. Get some water from the fridge. Just gonna add some, just enough. The potatoes will have some water to boil in. Stir that in. And with all these onions, the water won't affect the flavor too much because it's going to become very flavorful soon. Another thing I'm going to add calls for chili powder, which I got right here. Calls for 1 teaspoon. So this. Now, I'm not going to measure this out perfectly because we all like spicy, so add that into the mix and stir that in. Because this is supposed to be spicy potato, leek, and shrimp soup. And it's not spicy without the chili powder. So add that in. Stir this up a bit. And now we just let these guys simmer covered until it is ready. So let's move on to the next recipe for now. All right. So now we're going to start working on, oh, I had it upside down. Start working on the Greek salad. So Greek salad is of course the second recipe. And to make Greek salad, you basically chop up a whole bunch of vegetables into tiny little pieces. And then you mix it all together with a vinaigrette type dressing. And then you have Greek salad. Now, Greek salad is my favorite kind of salad. I know last time I made basically a spinach, or baby spinach and banana pepper salad, which I also really like. And I might have said it was my favorite. It's my favorite that I don't that I can make at home. This is my first attempt at making Greek salad at home. This is usually what I order at a restaurant. So, again, totally not professional here. Now, I actually don't like tomatoes. I can't stand tomatoes, to be honest, but Greek salad is the one way I can handle them. I can get past my distaste for tomatoes if they're in a Greek salad, because Greek salad is just so tasty and wonderful. So, since I have a lot of veggies to chop, I'll probably stop the video between each veggie and start again with each new vegetable. And I'll try my best to keep talking during all of this, because I know that's what a lot of you are tuned in for. But I may get into the zen of it all and just chop without thinking, so my apologies in advance if I'm not chatty enough while I do this. Oh my goodness, I don't usually cook with tomatoes because they're not my favorite, so I always forget how watery they are, how gooey. It's almost like pumpkin innards. It's another thing I was never a big fan of. You know those, I don't want to say fear factor, but like Halloween houses, and they get people to put their hand blindly into something and feel it, and they'll say, oh, this is brains, but it's actually pumpkin. I was never a big fan of those. Oh, my water's boiling. Just be a moment. Oh, you've got to put it down to 6, please. Husband to the rescue. I'm getting all distracted talking about Halloween as I prepare a Christmas dinner. Like I said, I may zone out a bit. Also, I'm getting really hungry. So it's hard to prepare this food and not just, well, tomatoes, it's easy for me to not eat them, but I have a delicious soup going on in the background. I've got a ham in the oven, which I'll show you after I'm done this. You know what, I'm just going to go with 1 tomato. Recipe calls for 2, but I'm just going to go with 1 because I'm not a tomato fan. I'm just going to rinse this off and I'll be right with you guys again. All the tomato goop off of it. Now we're going to chop up an English cucumber. Now I learned that the difference today between an English cucumber and a regular one, these ones have no seeds. So I figured for a salad we probably don't want cucumbers with tons of seeds in them. So I decided to get this kind. Although I don't think the recipe specifies what kind of cucumber to get. the video after every 2 veggies. Oh. Yeah, and while I was loading or recharging the camera battery, I peeled and chopped up some potatoes to make some mashed potatoes. So I'm dicing them up quite small, as you can see. As I'm sure you all remember from previous cooking videos, I generally like my stuff diced up pretty small. Try to do these by 2s so it goes as quick as I can, so that this doesn't die on me, because I know the camera will only record for 10 minutes and then it'll turn off and switch to a new video. This is still taking a good long time though. There's a lot of little pieces to cut up. And some of them are sticking together even though they shouldn't be. And just so you guys know what's going on behind the camera, I have a salad bowl that I'm putting all my chopped up ingredients in. And I will show you said salad bowl as soon as I'm done. I'm getting more slack with my chopping now because it's getting closer and closer to go time when the guests arrive. Alright guys, well this is taking a good long while, so I'm going to skip ahead a bit and I will just do this cooking show style and show you the finished product of the salad. Alright, well we finish making the salad, or my husband finishes chopping up the veggies in the background. We're going to make the dressing, which is 6 tablespoons of olive oil. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It says 1 lemon juice, but I have lemon juice here. So I'm just going to pour in 3. I'll make it 4. I like citrus. Go. And 1 teaspoon of oregano. Just cleaning that out. So 1 teaspoon of oregano. And now whisk all that together. So get out my little whisk. Now this is actually a serving bowl, so this is not really much of a place to whisk. This is the dressing. Lemon, olive oil, and oregano. And I'll show you guys. This is the salad. So you've got lots of olives. We decided to forego the romaine lettuce. We just weren't feeling it today. Oh, that was really loud, sorry. And now we're about to crumple the feta cheese onto the salad. So, would you do the honors?
How much?
Whole thing.
Whole thing.
Yep. Just crumple that feta there.
That whole thing.
Oh, sure. What else are we going to use it for?
Eating.
You don't like cheese.
Like feta.
So we're just going to crumple this crazy block of cheese up.
Crumpling all of it.
Well, we're going to crumple most of it then. A good chunk. Because the feta makes it so delicious. Crumple, crumple, crumple goes the cheese. Voila. Now we pour on the dressing. And that is our wonderful Greek salad. I'm going to show you guys the products of the rest of this evening as well. They're almost done, so hang on and you'll get to see some other stuff that's been happening. So over here we have the other stuff. So first we have our soup. This is the final product after you've added the shrimp, the D-vein detailed shrimp, and the milk. It's a really creamy, delicious smelling soup. Over here we're steaming some corn. A lovely little steamer. Here we're boiling potatoes. Ooh, and we're steaming up the camera. And in here, hello, in here you can see our ham, which is being cooked. So that is pretty much it. So now it's time to heat up the carrots, the turnip, and the guests should be arriving shortly.